to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be going over is grading every single team's first half, giving them a grade from A to F, and doing that. Then in the fourth and fifth segments, we'll be going over what my predictions for the Cy Young and the MVP for the rest of the season, who will end up winning it in the end. So yeah, before we do all that though, before we get into the show today, I would like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers to ensure that your question does get read in the air. Please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show. It really does mean a lot. So thank you so much for that. And let's get into the show for today. All right. So as I said, we're going to be getting into our first topic today, which is going to be continuing kind of what we did yesterday, so for today, I'm going to be doing first half grades for every team. And the way I'm going to be splitting it is going to be East, Central, and West. So AL East and NL East will be up first, then NL Central, AL West, NL West. You get it. So yeah, we're going to start off with the East here, as you can see on the screen. So let's get into it. So starting off here with the NL East, I'm going to be starting off with the New York Mets. The grade I'm going to give them for the first half of the season is going to be a B. Now, the Mets were a very hard team to grade as they started off the season absolutely horrible and then ended off the first half as one of the best teams in the entire league. So coming to a median in that, I did give them a B. I think that overall they have had a successful season so far, being in a wildcard spot at the time of the first half ending, which is a very good achievement, I'd say. It's something that you definitely want and something that I think is worth noticing and saying, hey, good job. But at the same time, the first half was really bad, and they're only 3 games above 500, so I couldn't give them anything more than a B, which still is a good grade, but hoping it gets better in the second half. Still, very good first half, in my opinion. Deserves a B. Next off, we're going to go with the Atlanta Braves, who are also a very challenging team to grade because, of course, they haven't really lived up to expectations, but at the same time, they've had some freak injuries that no one really could expect. So I did end up giving the Braves a C+. I wanted to give them the C because, simply put, they have not lived up to standards this year. I mean, they're fighting for a wild card spot when they should be fighting for the division. But with the injuries they had to their two best players, arguably, in Ronald Acuna Jr. and Spencer Strider, I thought it was only right to be able to give them a C+. And I thought that was the right grade. Again, I wanted to give them some leniency. That's why I did give them the plus there out of the C because of the injuries. Again, how are you going to control Ronald Acuna Jr. tearing his ACL again and Spencer Strider having an arm injury? You just can't. So as much as the injuries have affected them, they still have played under expectations. A lot of the offensive members, really, except Marcell Ozuna, have now played up to their standards. So I did end up giving the Braves a C+ here. Not the greatest first half, but again, a lot of it was just things out of their control. Third, I have the Phillies. I have gave them an A+. I mean, they're the best team in baseball right now. Have actually exceeded expectations. I'd say smashed the expectations. I don't really think anyone really expected them to win the NL East or be even in the conversation at this point. And yes, could that have to do, at least some of that have to do with the Braves' injuries? Absolutely. But at the same time, the Phillies have still been an incredible team this year, and they are the reason they are in first place. So a great job by them. Really just a fantastic job, and I do have them here as an A+ grade for the first half of the season. Next, we have the Washington Nationals. I gave them an A. Yes, they're in fourth place in the NL East. They're not going to make the playoffs, but at the same time, they were in a playoff spot relatively well into the season, which is a really good achievement. A lot of their young players have started breaking out. James Wood has come up and been exactly what they've hoped for, and there's a really great future lining up for this Nationals team. So overall, I think it's been a really good first half. A lot of players have broken out for them that they really didn't expect to. They aren't horrible. And again, there's a lot showing for the future. So I did give them an A. Again, with teams like the Nationals, who aren't exactly trying to win a championship or trying to even win, you have to look at it from a different perspective. And that's why I did give them an A, even though obviously in the standings they're not doing the greatest. Next, Marlins, gave them an F. They are going now into a deep rebuild because of this year. I mean, that's probably what they plan to going into the year after the hiring of Peter Bendix, but at the same time, just the way they have performed this year have been absolutely horrific, and yeah, I don't think anything other than an F could be appropriate. Yes, we expect them to be bad. That's very true with the injuries they've had as well, but this bad, trading Luis Arraez by May bad, trading Jazz Chisholm, Tanner Scott at the deadline bad, trading Jesus Luzardo if he wasn't going to get hurt. I don't think so. So I think they deserve an F here, and it's just been, man, what a disaster this first half has been. So, next we have, going to the AL East now, we're going to be having the New York Yankees, who are a very tough team to grade because, you would expect to give them an A for the first half of the first half, which I hope that makes sense. But really, in the past month or so, they haven't been great, but they still have a very good record, and they still are second in the AL East top wildcard spot. So it was hard to grade them, but I did end up giving them a B+. Again, I didn't give them an A just because of how they ended it for the first half. Yes, they won a series against the Orioles, but overall it just wasn't great for them, and a lot of their cracks are starting to show in their team. So as much as they did have a good first half, I couldn't bring myself to give them the grade anything better than a B+, which is where I have them here. Next, we have the Baltimore Orioles, who I have as an A. One of the best teams in baseball, leading the AL East, have broken out exactly like most people have expected them to, so I have them here as an A. I think it's very fitting. They've had an absolutely incredible season. This team is really just so good, and yeah, I don't think anything other than A would be appropriate for this team and how well they've done in this first half. Next, we have the Boston Red Sox, who I also gave an A. I think this Red Sox team has just been absolutely incredible this first half, and really nobody expected them to do this good. I mean, honestly, they've done absolutely fantastic. They've had breakout players all across the team, which I don't really think anybody expected them to have. And overall, they've just been really good. So I did not expect this at all from them. I really did not have them competing at all on my radar. And the fact they have been this good has really just truly been incredible. And overall, just a great season for this Red Sox team. Again, I really did not expect much from them, and the fact that they're now very much in the pursuit of a wild card spot, have the chance to make the playoffs, and have had so many breakout players on this team this year is really just incredible for them. What a great season. And I thought anything less than an A would not be appropriate. That's why I gave them an A. Next, we have the Blue Jays, who I gave a D. Now, I could have given them an F, but I didn't. They could be a lot worse than they are right now, but I think a D is very appropriate for the situation they found themselves in. They came into this year with a lot of hope. They had the franchise high payroll. They wanted a great season from Vladdy, from Bo Bichette. They wanted their rotation to continue shoving, and they wanted to compete in this AL East. And I had them third. I thought they would be very close to a wild card spot, and everything has blown up in their face this year completely. They look like they're now heading into the tunnel of a deep, dark rebuild. Looks like every single person is going to be traded with value. All the rentals are going to be traded. We'll see about the offseason if there's other people they could trade that are, that have more significant value. So overall, just an absolute horrific disaster of a season for this Blue Jays team. Last in the AL East by a good amount. One of the worst teams in all of baseball. Have done so bad that they are now down the hole of a deep, dark rebuild, and it's not looking great for them, and I thought anything less than a D would not be appropriate, and that's why I gave them that. I was thinking about an F, but I thought, that is a little too harsh, because, again, they could be a lot worse than they are right now, and, yeah, I did end up giving them a D here. Last, we have the Tampa Bay Rays, who I did end up giving a C. Now, the Rays have not been great this year. 4th place in the AL East, probably not going to make the playoffs, probably going to be sellers at the deadline, so maybe you could say, they deserve less than a C. But at the same time, they had a lot of injuries going into the year. They had a lot of freak things going into the year, like the Wander Franco situation, which I'm going to keep mentioning because it was just such a shocker to your infrastructure, just a shocker for your team, that it was something that has to be talked about as that has affected them. He's never playing in MLB again. I would say, he'd be lucky to not be outside of jail cell ever again, to be perfectly honest, again, if the things he is accused of are true. So I'm going to make that clear. But overall, this Rays team, a C. I think it's just they've been mediocre this year, very mediocre. They had a lot of injuries going into the year, and they could be much worse. I think that's true. But at the same time, you kind of expect a lot from this Rays team still because of the star power they have. Isaac Paredes, Randy Arozarena, 2 great starters on their team. Their offense still has a lot of good pieces, like a Brandon Lau. Their rotation's really nice. Zach Eflin's there. You're going to get some guys back from injury as well. So it is unfortunate with the season they've had. So I thought anything less than a C. I thought a C was appropriate. I could have gone lower, but I did go C for the Rays here. So, recapping the grades, I did give each East team here. The Mets, I gave a B. The Braves, I gave a C+. Nationals, an A. Marlins, an F. The Yankees, a B+. The Orioles, an A. The Red Sox, an A. The Blue Jays, a D. The Rays, a C. So, yeah, that is my first half grades for each East team here. We'll be continuing this with our second segment, which is going to be talking about the Central first team grades. So, exactly what I just did for the East, I'm going to be doing for the Central, so the AL Central and the NL Central, all 10 teams in that division. So yeah, we'll be doing that, and we'll be going over it, and so then we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord,